A question that inevitably seems to get asked from time to time is, what's the best light bar for my ATV? Hey, that's a great question, by the way. I'm glad you asked. And I'm gonna be real with you. There are many great light bars. In fact, a quick search online will show you more than you care to read reviews on. And the other problem is, it often gets overlooked for a much sexier modification when it comes to spending those hard-earned dollars towards your machine. And that's fine, at least until you find yourself at night quickly outrunning your crappy stock headlights, which is why in this video, we're gonna cover just a few different light bar options that aren't gonna break the bank. Coming up. So like I already alluded to, a quick search online is gonna show you a multitude of light bars. And by a multitude, I mean a freaking lot of light bars. And I'm talking everything from like $15 all the way up to $1,000. $1,000 for a light bar. If you've ever spent $1,000 on a light bar, leave a comment down below and let me know which one and why, because I'm truly curious. So we did a bunch of research and we narrowed it down to three great options. Three options that all offer something different, which we're gonna talk about. And the great thing is these are all under $50. Now, if you're anything like me, you want a good light bar, but you're not using it as much as a lot of other modifications, so you'd rather save the money and put it towards something else on your machine, which is why we're doing this video. And stick around to the end, by the way, because I'm gonna throw in a bonus light bar, a fourth option, which it's a little bit more expensive, but if you're looking for something a little more unique that has some cool extra features, you're definitely gonna wanna check that out. So let's go ahead and get started with light bar number one, and that's the RigidHorse 12-inch light bar. Now, this is a 140 watt single row light bar. This is a great light bar for someone that wants a low profile light that's gonna provide some extra light, but just not be this bulky, massive thing on the front of their ATV. And by the way, I'm gonna put a link in the description below for all these light bars so you can check out more of the details, see how much they cost, and just kind of read some of the reviews as well. So make sure you check out those links below. Now, when it comes to the details of this low profile light bar, it's got both spot and flood LEDs in there, which means it's gonna provide more of a directed light beam, but also that floodlight beam, so that wider angle. In fact, let's go ahead and shut the lights off so you can see what this looks like. Now, when it comes to color, this puts out 6000K, and that's really more of just a bright white look, if you will. It's not yellow or anything like that, and it's got 10,000 lumen. All right, now when it comes to lumen, if you're wondering what that is, it's really just a way to measure light, and we're not gonna get too into the weeds on that. I bring it up so that you can compare it to the other lights. The more lumen, the brighter the light. That'll help you out, at least for the purpose of this video. Now, other features on this, it's IP67 rated, which basically means it's waterproof up to 3 feet. So if you go 3 feet into water, which I'm assuming you're not taking your ATV deeper than that, you're good to go. All right, so what I like about this one, first off, like I already mentioned, it's very small and unobtrusive. If you want something that's not gonna be overly obvious or stick out of your machine, this is a great option for that type of person. It also comes with a mounting bracket, so that's a plus, and I should say all these come with mounting brackets. The mounting brackets for this one, they're fine. I'm not gonna lie and say they're phenomenal. They'll do the job if you don't wanna spend the extra money on some light brackets. It's also very bright for a single row. As you can see, for a 12-inch light bar that's a single row, it does a great job. Now, it's not gonna be as bright as the next one we're gonna talk about, but again, low profile, bright for that purpose. Now, as for what I don't like about it, this wiring is all you're gonna get. So you're gonna need some wiring and you're gonna need a switch. That's all there is to it. Again, it's really inexpensive, some wiring, a switch. It's not that expensive, but it is something you're gonna have to keep in mind going forward. All right, let's move on. And by that, I mean, let's move on to the Zmoon 2-piece light bars. Now, this is a little different concept, all right? I'm classifying them as light bars because they're mini light bars, but there's 2 of them. And one of the great things about this and the type of person that this might appeal to is someone that wants to be able to direct them differently. So a standard light bar, right? If this is one light bar, you have to move this entire thing. But if you want to be able to aim these independently, it's a great option for that, because maybe you want them pushed out a little bit, right? Maybe you want to be able to cover more of the trail going out and away from you. Or maybe you actually want to be able to direct it more in for a specific reason. This is a great option for that type of thing. And I will say as well, these are 240 watt, 24,000 lumen. So again, remember the last one was 10,000 lumen. We've now stepped up to 24,000 lumen. So over twice the brightness. And again, a little bigger, still kind of low profile, but still double the height and double the size as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn these on in a second. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and turn all of these on, just so you know. So we're gonna see them one by one, and then at the end of the video, I'll turn them all on so you can compare them and see the color range and the brightness and kind of help you determine, you know, what might work best for you. So let's go ahead and check these out. So with the lights off, you may or may not be able to tell, but these also have a spot and flood option. It's got a 15-degree spot focus and a 170-degree flood focus. Now these also have an IP67 rating, much like the last ones. And also much like the last ones, this is gonna have a basic universal mount that'll probably work for most people. Now, what I like about these, first off, you can aim them independently like we already talked about. That's great. And also, this one comes with tons of wiring. All right, so a whole thick spool of wiring. It's got a relay switch and everything built in. Plus it actually has an on-off switch. Now, not gonna lie, it's a crappy one, so there's that, but it does at least provide one for you. I still recommend getting a good handlebar switch or a toggle switch of sorts that you can permanently mount somewhere on your machine. You know what? In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link for a good toggle switch below this video as well. So if you don't quite understand what I'm talking about, click that. It'll open up some pictures and you'll get a better idea of what I mean. And it's a good toggle switch as well. And lastly, let me just say on these, it is another great option for the price, and they have extremely good reviews. Now, if you don't think either one of those is gonna cut it for you, we have the Nightlight 20-inch light bar. Now, I will say, I think this is my personal favorite of the three. In fact, one of these is going on the Scrambler. And while this one is a little bit bigger, I'm a big fan of it. It's 420 watts. It produces 42,000 looms. So again, remember the first one, 10,000 loom. Next one, 24,000 loom. This is sitting at 42,000 loom. It's got 3 rows, both spot and flood once again, and it puts out about the 6,000K color range. Let's go ahead and check it out. So as you can see, it's definitely brighter than the other one. In fact, now that we've seen all 3, let's go ahead and line them up one under the other so that we can really compare. All right, so here we go. I hope this kind of helps you relate seeing them all side by side, the different brightness levels. All right, so what I like about this one specifically, first of all, it's got 3 rows of LEDs. Now, in fact, let's go ahead and take the last one we looked at. If we put them side by side, look at that. The casing is actually about the same. It might actually quite literally be the exact same size, but they've packed 3 rows of light bars in there, so you're getting a lot of extra brightness. Now, this one also does come with some decent mounting brackets. Again, not the best. You could definitely go out and get some other ones if you wanted, but you don't need to. Now, as far as what I don't like about this one, first of all, size matters. Am I right? Size matters, and this is definitely the biggest out of all the ones we've talked about. So if that's too big for you, you might want to try one of the other options. Now, this one as well also has really good reviews. It's well liked. However, there's a lot of complaints on water issues. And speaking of water issues, I want to put out there as well, all 3 of these are IP67 rated. Like I mentioned at the beginning, theoretically, you can dunk all these underwater and be fine. However, especially with this one, also with the other ones, I do recommend sealing these up again. So you can actually kind of take them apart out of the casing, reseal the casing, and put it back together. You might not need to, but you might. You know, with the less expensive light bars, that's really the biggest risk you run, is getting condensation or water in there that's gonna wreck it over time. Now, if you don't mind taking that chance, cool, you might be fine for years. However, if you just spend a little bit of extra time, seal it up, I think it'll go a long way. So just something to consider. All right, so here's the bonus one. Here's the one that's really, it's awesome, but you're gonna spend a little bit more money. It's the Night Break curved 22-inch light bar. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, again, we're moving up in price here, so we've doubled the price. This comes in right now at about $120, and again, I'll put the link down below. But if you want something that's gonna be more than a light bar, so you want some extra features, you want it to be cool, this is a great option because again, it's 22 inches, so it's not overly long. It'll still fit on an ATV, because that's one thing you gotta be careful of, is a lot of these get a lot larger, right? They're meant for side-by-sides, Jeeps, that kind of thing. So you wanna be careful, and you really don't wanna go, I personally think, over that 22-inch mark. That's kind of I wouldn't go bigger than that personally for an ATV. But now with something like this, you're gonna have a lot of extra colors. You've got a remote control for it. It's got the Bluetooth app. So really, this is a great option for someone that wants more than a light, to be honest, right? Because it's got your light, but it's also got some of that cool factor, if you will. So just something to consider. If that's the route you want to go, definitely check that one out. Otherwise, leave a comment down below if you already have one. Let me know what kind of light bar you have and if, you know, it's working well or not for you. So with that, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. I really do. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the trail.